A Greener Future for Mining by Braeden Steele. Overview. Getting started. My mining company's goals. What and where are we mining? How are we mining? Otherwise known as method. Processing the mineral, closing the mine, and then finally the conclusion. One of my main goals for my company would be to be more environmentally friendly than some of the other mining companies and reduce my carbon footprint. One suggestion of how to do this would be to create new technology to better advance the mining industry, which would reduce the negative impacts of mining, such as soil, erosion, the destruction of local ecosystems, or tailings. Finally, I would like to support and educate the locals and bring awareness to what my company's motives are. Rare earth elements. What is it used for? Generally, rare earth elements are used for permanent magnets, petroleum refining, glass additives for televisions and computer screens, lighting phosphors, batteries for hybrid electric vehicles. Rare earth elements are also used for advanced electronics, such as medical imaging, lasers, night vision goggles, and other advanced technologies, which are very desirable in governments all around the world, and it's becoming increasingly more high in demand. Why I chose to mine rare earth elements. I chose to mine rare earth elements because it is profitable and has an increasing demand and has potential to have a big payout if done correctly. Also, a lot of countries want to reduce the monopoly that China has and its companies have on the market. You might be asking, why did I choose to mine in Canada? I chose to mine in Canada because the country's vast amount of resources. Canada is also known to have rich, rare earth element deposits, and with a stable political environment with strict environmental regulations. This corresponds with my goals. It also has access to the market in a short distance, seeing as America and Canada are some of the largest consumers of rare earth elements. But also, in Canada, I have to worry about laborers, wages, and the cost of a remediation, which can be risky. Considering the impacts of my choices, I feel like it'll be risky at the start, but if it's done right, it can turn into a huge profit and change the market in favor of Canada and help future companies minimize the monopoly that China has on rare earth elements. Setting up a shop in Canada also aligns with my company and its goals and would help prove that you can make a profit in mining ethically and responsibly to other mining companies, which could better help the future of the industry. I also think that with the location of the sites and buyers being so close, my company has a great shot at making it. Due to Canada's strict regulations, though, I do feel that this will be a close call at the start. My company's mining methods. For my company's mining methods, I have chosen primary deposits instead of secondary deposits, even though rare earth elements can be found in both primary and secondary deposits in Canada. Primary deposits are more rich in quantity and more profitable versus using the secondary mining method. Canada has several significant primary rare earth element deposits, including the Nek-Alco deposit in Northwest Territories, the Strange Lake deposit in Quebec, and the Osharam deposit in Quebec as well. I chose open pit mining because it is one of the most common ways of mining rare earth elements. If not handled correctly, it can be devastating to the environment, which can take years to recover. But there are new mining practices that is going to lighten the load of damage to the ecosystem. Also, Canada has strict regulations in place to ensure that mining operations are mined in an environmentally responsible and conscious manner, such as the Canadian Environmental Assessment Act, which someone will periodically come to my site and make sure that I am following all the regulations. I can also try to reduce costs by using autonomous trucks, drills, and other equipment to improve efficiency and reduce costs, and they can operate around the clock without human intervention, allowing for continuous mining operations. Thinking of my choices, I think open pit mining for rare earth elements presents several opportunities because Canada is home to some of the largest deposits of rare earth elements and can also generate economic benefits for local communities in Canada, such as job creation and increased tax revenue in Canada. Also, Canada is one of the leading countries that are trying to mine in an environmentally responsible manner. There's also a potential chance of profits for innovation in open pit farming, which we can sell to other companies. Processing rare earth elements. Offshore may be more profitable. I've chosen to go locally for the following reasons. Canada has strict regulations like the Canadian Environmental Assessment Act that will make sure what my company is doing aligns with my goals. I can also market as a fully Canadian source mineral, which can drive up prices that I could sell to companies and make a profit. Also, in Canada, they try to recycle most of the waste rock, which is one of the biggest fallouts for remediation in open pit mining aside from tailing. We also have better control over the final product and make sure it's going to be good and sellable. Also, if we process rare earth elements locally, there is less risk of theft and piracy compared to processing offshore. Some cons of processing rare earth elements locally is we can upset locals if not handled well, like pollution in the air or loud noises. We also could have loss of profits because in Canada we have wage laws, the price of land is higher, and the regulations we do have to follow can all drastically increase costs. The biggest environmental fallout for remediation in open pit mining. Open pit mining can have significant environmental impacts, including damage to soil, vegetation, and wildlife habitats. It also produces tailing and waste rock, which can be devastating to ecosystems if not closed properly. When considering the impacts of my choices for processing rare earth elements, it might not be as profitable as mining in developing countries and processing offshore, but it could possibly help the mining business and the economy in Canada in the long run if we show that this is working and profitable. Processing minerals locally in Canada may provide some financial benefits while still keeping my goals of reducing the damage to the environment. It can also be great for publicity and marketing by saying we are an environmentally conscious, fully Canadian mining company, and it can boost sales and popularity and entice investors. It's closing time. The amount of environmental damage, including contaminated soil and water, abandoned mine sites, and other forms of pollution, creates huge health and environmental risk to local communities and ecosystems. So closing a mine is one of the most important parts of an environmentally conscious mind. One way to carry on my goals is to develop new tools to extract what remains in the tailings and help to minimize environmental impacts of mining and reduce the cost that comes with cleaning and restoring the site, which can create a positive impact on future generations while also possibly turning a profit by patenting the new technology and selling it to governments for extra profit My company has a responsibility to ensure that my mine is closed and is done in an environmentally responsible and conscious way to carry out my goals. And one of those ways is helping out the people who are now without a job to be financially stable after the fact with possibly a severance package or an upfront closing fee, which can be also good for my company to make the public happy and have a good reputation. In my opinion, closing in a developed country was a great choice for my company and its goals because Canada has this very strict remediation process and requires an upfront cost to make sure the company can close the mine in a responsible manner. They also have someone who comes in to check soil contaminants and if we are closing ethically. For my final reflection, I have concluded that mining and processing rare earth elements in Canada in an ethical and sustainable manner was the right choice for my company, even if it may not have been as profitable as offshore processing or mining in a developing country. By choosing a mining process in Canada, we were able to protect the environment and local communities, as well as promoting earth-friendly minerals as a marketing tool to attract more customers and generate greater sales, which helped fund our ethical goals. Also, it helped to improve our company's reputation, which is essential for a company's future and long-term success. Looking back on the environmental damage caused by past mining operations in Canada, I believe that my company and other mining companies have a responsibility to support local communities during the mine closure process and ensure that it is done in an environmentally conscious way. I believe that if we all focus on developing new tools to extract what remains in tailings, we can help minimize those environmental impacts and reduce costs associated with cleaning and restoring sites. Creating ethical and sustainable mining practices can help my company be a part of the solution, not part of the problem, to the environmental impacts of the mining industry today. And I am proud to do it that way while I close out my mind. Conclusion. My summary and thoughts. While creating a mine can be difficult, creating an eco-friendly mine is even harder due to the costs that come with it. So turning a profit is next to impossible as of right now because of the risk the mining companies have to make, using new untested methods of a healthier way to mine. One mistake and companies can be shut down or bankrupt. Another thought is that China has a monopoly on rare earth element sales, and they do not use ethical ways of extracting and processing rare earth elements, which is growing increasingly alarming to a lot of countries, but they won't do anything about it because of how cheap it is to buy from them. We all need to make this world a better place before it's too late, and we need more awareness of mining conditions. Offshore and pay that extra price to make sure that we are environmentally conscious and aware of the workers' health and safety. Thank you for your time. I'm out.